That's right. Fresh off of 200 wins, head coach Beth Cunningham, Missouri State, one of my favorite people in the game. Coach, thank you so much for being with us on Nothing But Net.
Thanks for having me, Debbie.
Come on now, what was 200 wins like when you got home, when you had to celebrate with all Team Cunningham? Because I know you celebrate with the team, but then there's the other team.
Well, let's just say, first of all, I feel like 200 pales in comparison to the other discussions that have been around Tara Vanderveer. And I said it's like petty cash. It's just this is minimal. But I think more than anything, the team was excited. They doused me with lots of cold water after the game. And then I think Team Cunningham was super excited because they thought it'd be super fun to get doused in water. So they wanted to hear the whole story about the team dousing me in water and just kind of they had fun with it. So we were on the road, so obviously I was just talking to them on the phone. But you know, amazing accomplishment with Tara. I mean, that's remarkable.
Yeah.
So she is well over 1,000 more than I have. So this certainly pales
Yeah,
in
she's
comparison.
she had 1,003 more than you, I think, at that point, but that's okay. She's been around a little bit longer. Um, Beth, tell everyone about Team Cunningham because I think this is such a great part of your story, your husband Dan and your kids, and just break it down a little bit before we talk about your team.
Yeah, just I'm really lucky. I've had a super supportive husband, and I think anybody that's in the profession or knows kind of what our daily jobs entail and what all goes into the coaching profession, or just even being a working mother, there's you've got to have a great support system, and he has always had a mentality of whatever it is I needed to do. He never questioned it. He's never said, do you really have to go recruiting or do you really need to do this or that? He's always just been super supportive. And, so I think it starts there. And then I've got four little kids, one is now 12, so she's not so little anymore. She's already wearing my shoes. But 12-year-old, I have boy girl twins that are 10, and then a 7-year-old. So it's a busy household. When they were under the age of 5, it was all hands on deck, and it's still all hands on deck. So, rather than going home and taking care of dinner and making sure you get in that whole routine, it's leaving practice and dividing and conquering, helping everybody get to their sporting activities or their after school activities. But they are huge Lady Bear fans. They love our players. I think that's one of the things that's so rewarding for me. I grew up as a coach's daughter, and I grew up in an environment where I got to go up to the gym. I got to go to the baseball field. I got to go do those things with my dad, go on road trips. And my kids are kind of living, sort of like I did when I was growing up. And I have so many fond memories. So I'm just glad that they love it. They love being a part of it. They really look up to our young women, have great relationships with our team. And they couldn't be more excited than when they get to go on a road trip or get to come up to the gym after school, or on a snow day, or just have the team over. They love being a part of it. And they are certainly our biggest fans in the stands, and they definitely get our crowd riled up. Let's say that.
Well, I've been around them and they are entertaining. They're fun. They each have their own personality, and they love their mom and dad, and it's really cool. And they do love the team. It's fun to watch what they do in and around the game, especially with you. That's very cool.
It's been fun.
It's
It's been fun.
exceptionally cool. Let's talk about your team because you knew when you took this job, the Valley was a competitive league. I like to refer to it as a really good coaches league. There's a lot of really good coaches in this league. And you're finding yourself sitting right at the top of the standings with a bunch of really good teams that are up there. It's going to be a fight to the finish, isn't it? What's been unique about your team this year?
It's a great league. You know that, Debbie. I've known that from afar. Hadn't been a part of playing against a lot of the coaches that I'm competing against now or playing those teams. But it's a great league. Really, really good coaches, a high level of play. Obviously, the talent speaks for itself. But it's going to be as competitive as ever. You look at the number of teams, and there's going to be a lot of movement between right now and the end of the season. You look at some of the matchups and just how things will play out. It's going to be interesting. And I think the most important thing is that we just always focus on, one game at a time, control the things that we can control. You can't look too far ahead. You can't look in the past. You know, you just have to stay focused on task at hand. But in order to win the league, to be at the top of the league, you consistently have to be really good every night, because every night it's a ball game. Certainly the league has proven that anybody at any particular time can win. And I know it sounds cliche-ish, but you look at the competitiveness of our league, and it certainly holds to be true. So I'm excited about our team. We have brought in 8 new players this year. You couple that with 6 returners, only 4 of really which played significant minutes for us. It's second year with another very new team, and so I really like where we're at right now. I think we've had a ton of growth. We have 5 freshmen. 3 of them have really been impacting us as of late, which has really changed us, given that us additional depth. And then you look at a couple transfers we brought in, along with some of the returners we have. I just think we're gelling at the right time, and we're definitely moving in the right direction, as sort of trending to wanting to be playing your best basketball late in the year.
You've been a part of some incredible winning teams at Notre Dame as a player and as a coach. You've won some national championships along the way, played in multiple Final Fours. You've done a lot of everything, Beth. The landscape of the game today, I'm curious, like your take on being at a school that's considered a mid-major, dealing with the transfer portal, more importantly than the money, but dealing with the transfer portal and trying to recruit your own players, recruit new players, find some balance in all of that. How do you get your team to build that kind of chemistry so that you're clicking when you know that there could be so many interchangeable parts every year?
Well, the landscape, no question, it has definitely changed. And so whether you like it, you don't like it, you agree with it, don't agree with it, you have to be able to adapt. And so I think that's probably the biggest thing that I've tried to do, is just adapt, and the landscape is what it is, and try to do the best you can with building your team every year. In a perfect world, I would love to have 4-year players that, you can teach and grow, and they develop in your system. But I also love the fact that we can supplement with needs that we have. And that's one of the things we were really able to do this year, is bring in an impactful freshman class. You couple that with a really, really good group of returners that still we're fairly young. We don't have any seniors on our team this year. And then we're able to supplement with some transfers in some areas we had, some real needs. And so it's certainly a balancing act, but you try to adapt and do the best you can. And then ultimately, just want to find really high character kids to bring into our program. And then, I think when you're able to do that, you find a group of kids that are willing to be about something bigger than just themselves. And, it certainly takes time, but we have a great uh, chemistry, cohesion amongst each other. Kids that really, respect each other, work hard together, some great personalities, I think have a lot of fun together. And you just try to do the best you can in terms of building. And every year is a challenge, regardless how you do it. So I think just trying to adapt once you get your group of young women together.
So I want to remind you of a special night in October of this year that involved these people right here. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay, so in this photo that I'm holding up is Jackie Stiles, Beth, and Melody Howard. And Jackie and Melody would be 2 of the great names in the history of Missouri State women's basketball. That was a special night. It was started with a little party before we played some trivia, and then you had an auction and a fundraiser, and you allowed me to MC and speak at it. It was really a fun night. When you put those kinds of events together, what do you think your team comes away with from being around the greatness of Jackie and Melody, and then spending time with some donors and some people that can definitely have an impact on their experience at Missouri State?
Well, I think you walk away from that, it's just such a first class experience. We were able to have, be lucky enough to have you come in as the MC, and that was a huge draw from our fans. Is they're very knowledgeable about women's basketball. They've been such great supporters, so they love having somebody who really has been in the game and understands and knows the game. So when you came in and spoke and MC the event, that was a huge draw for us. And then
Really fun.
you look at, obviously having the 2 all-time greats here, with Melody and Jackie, and 2 different different groups of teams that came through with them. But really, those guys, along with Cheryl, really set the standard for the success of the program and to the foundation for it to be built on. And so I think our kids just walk away having an opportunity to interact with them, to have the opportunity to spend some time with you, to have some really impactful people from our community and around our state that were at the event. I think you walk away and it's like this is as first class as it gets. I mean, it was an unbelievable experience. Our kids really enjoyed it. I know that our fans did, our donors. I think it's just, you walk away from that and I think it's hard not to think that this is as good as anywhere.
One of the things that I remember from that night, and you'll remember these two young men that sat at the table with us, Jared and Henry, and they were two guys that are from the Bear Life program. So Missouri State has a program similar to Clemson that my son went to. Those two guys text me every day. I finally told them they had to text. They can only text me once a day. Once a day, because they were texting me every day to be like, how are you? How's your day going? What are you doing? Where are you going? What's going on next? And they're just so they were so happy to be included and be involved. It was a really great invite by you. And they text me when they're at the game. So like my house, I got scouts all over the country that will text me and let me know what's going on. These guys are on it. It's fun to watch. It's fun to watch them
great.
love the game through your team.
Yeah, no, it's great. We have great support and they're just two great examples of that. And we love our fan base. The community here really supports us and we have a great atmosphere at our games. And it's been a lot of fun, but they're just two great examples of that, of how supportive and what great fans we have.
So what's coming up next? Like what's on your mind right now for what's next?
SIU, that's it. That's it.
That's all you're thinking.
That's all I'm thinking about. No, honestly, I mean, I think sometimes it sounds cliche-ish, but I think one of the things that I always learned, whether it be as a player, as a coach, is just you can't dwell on what's happened in the past and you can't get too far ahead of where you're going. Certainly you have goals and aspirations and things you want to accomplish. But with every win, you're probably not as good as you think. And with every loss, you're not as bad as you think. And you just have to stay focused on task at hand. I certainly understand it. You preach it to our kids. It doesn't matter who you're playing. Every game counts the same amount in the conference play. They all count the same. So regardless what records are, regardless who's on a winning streak, who's on a losing streak, whatever the case may be, you've got to go in and you've got to perform every night. And so quite honestly, it's focused on task at hand. So we play in 2 days, we play SIU at their place. Always difficult going on the road and winning regardless who you're playing. And they're always a team that's been really difficult. So to be frank with you, that's it. That's all that's on my mind.
Yeah, I know that's what's on your mind. Probably a little after school homework and probably a trip to a basketball practice driving one of those kids. Beth, thank you for being with us. You have such a tremendous basketball fandom and place and history, and you're the perfect person to be there to take it to the next level. So we wish you well, and thanks for being with us on Nothing But Net.
Appreciate it, Debbie.